We're here is Trent, and we are back once again. Trent, my man, what's the good word?
Good to go. It's,
good to go.
It's weird. Like yesterday, we kicked off the whole show, did our little intro, only did 2 games. Now all day today, we're just hanging out. I don't know. I'm watching all the games, relaxing back there, finally waiting for a chance to get up here. But we've got a real nice match coming up for you first. It's going to be LFY and Virtus Pro.
Yeah. Of the 3 matches we have to cover after this, we're going to see the Pain series will be our final closer.
Pain VG.
That'll be our last match.
And Vega Navi.
And Vega Navi, the CIS showdown, will be coming up after this. I think VP, LGDFY, this is probably, of those 3 series, this is the one that I would say is closest to 50-50 in terms of matchup.
The most competitive game. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Well, I wouldn't have said it that way, but okay.
Well, I mean, that's what it means, isn't it? 50-50 competitive.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Doesn't mean there can't be upsets. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe
that's true.
Pain can pull it out.
But this is one of those cool regional matchups, right? We get CIS versus China, not a matchup you get to see unless you're on land, so always excited. Thoughts? Looks like we're going to load into the lobby, so it won't be much of a delay, but thoughts about this series, who do you give the edge to?
Oh, personally, I think you kind of have to give it to Virtus Pro, right? That only seems fair. Obviously, they just won the major, so that's fairly big deal. I guess those are kind of important,
fairly easy logic tree to follow there, I think, yeah.
But I personally like LFY. I think they've done very well considering the switch in terms of roster. Like, I think they've looked still relatively okay after like losing Inflame. But yeah, we're just kind of looking to see if they can get things set. I'm really glad that Afu seems to be playing the 4s because there was this idea that it was going to be Yao moving to 4 for some reason after Afu has just been tearing it up on like numerous 4 heroes. So
yeah, agreed with you there.
In terms of how we're going to dice up these 2 teams, we have a featured matchup because these guys are extremely different when it comes to mid laners. You've got No One, who is he's all over the place, right? He likes to play those active guys, gets around, get lots of kills, and then y'all know Super. He is dark, mysterious, and he just sits in lane and pushes the tower, right?
Yeah. When I think of Super, I always think of the mid-alchemist, right? It was like one of his signature style. He loves to play those really beefy, just I'm going to sit in the lane, and when you leave, I'm going to take the advantage.
Dragon Knight, Pugna, those are the superheroes that just say, I want your buildings, I don't really care about the kills.
Yeah, and not to say Super doesn't have the mechanical prowess, but when I think of No One, I think of very mechanical heroes. You know, like your kind of Shadow Fiends, that kind of style. Like Queen of Pain, the more flashy, very showy mids.
I've seen far more disastrous Super puck games than No One puck games, not going to lie. I mean, he had some issues before, but nobody beats the Super Dragon Knight Pugna kind of strats. I mean, this guy, he knows how to get stuff done for the team. Yeah. So we're into it.
Yeah,
we actually have a draft.
We sure do. Willow and Razor are going to be the first 2 bands coming out of Virtus Pro alongside the Elder Titan and the Chen Gyrocopter Sand King, banned out by LFY. So we are actually going to see that Gyro make it into an initial banning triplet, which has been kind of rare. He's been one of those heroes that hasn't been scary enough to ban, which is part of the reason why he's been picked up in so many of these drafts.
Yeah. And LFY, so the Bane is something we talked a lot about when it comes to China. I guess Omnight's going to be along the same idea because when we were casting a lot of the Chinese games recently for the qualifiers for Dream League, it feels like they have like a BKB meta, essentially. Like they were some of the first teams to really start buying this BKB just super early. Like you see, like now the standard build on Gyro has essentially become Drums BKB. No more of this SNY shenanigans. That thing's too expensive. Get it out of here. I need a BKB. So in that same vein, obviously Omni Knight is going to be considered fairly powerful. So you might want one of those supports or cores that can actually deal with BKB right away for VP.
Who comes to mind when you talk about cores that deal with Okay, well
in terms of cores.
Yeah, not quite the core.
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster, okay, he's other hero high on the list. They'll grab the Death Prophet. So another one, right, the ultimate that does go through BKBs, and also Witch Doctor, an ultimate that does physical damage. So
not bad.
Along the same lines, and also the beginnings of a really good team fight setup for Virtus Pro. We talked about Witch Doctor yesterday. Seems like he has a pretty good place in the meta right now. Yeah,
and you're not giving away the Omni DP possibilities as well. Just DP been a hero that's extremely strong for China for like 2 years now.
That's true.
They would just first phase it all the time because they feel very comfortable with it.
Yep. Always a hero that has like slot issues as well, so having an Omni Knight to support helps her get over that bump like before the Yule's Scepter comes out or even like right after the Yule's before that next big item comes.
Yeah, could consider the Disruptor as well. The problem with Omni Knight is that, you know, if you're playing Disruptor, you obviously want some offlaner that offers a lot of control. You want to be able to combo up with someone, maybe a Tide Hunter or something, to be like, hey, that's a nice giant stun I can throw a good Static Storm on top of. But Omni Knight does not offer that.
That's true.
Sometimes you got to dig into the 4, like the Afu Earth Spirit or something, to get that
Earthshaker is another one that we've seen LFY gravitate towards a little bit. Hasn't been the most common pick, but definitely a hero to keep in your back pocket against the Witch Doctor. Long-range stun for interrupts to block people out. Just a great utility hero that they've definitely leveraged. And it'll be the AA. So great hero to have against both Witch Doctor and Death Prophet. So I guess not terribly surprising there. And also a great scaling support, as we've talked about in the past. If you're going late game, there are very few 5s that hold up as well as Ancient Apparition does.
Yeah, I thought Poppy has been playing a fantastic AA in both of the games so far from Secret of this tournament. Obviously, it didn't go too well on the last one, but there's lots of options left in the 4, I would say, for Afu right now. He has the Tusk. He also has that Earth Spirit.
Yep.
So VP also just removing the Dragon Knight. So I think if they get out of this with a Afu Earth Spirit into that next pick, they're going to be really happy on LFY's side.
Definitely. And also just a reminder, we did cast the Team Liquid versus LFY game yesterday. That was where LFY went for the last pick Bristleback, which kind of surprised us. Didn't work in that game, but showed that the hero maybe has some potential. There were a couple moments of glory where it seemed like Bristleback could maybe be...
well, why don't you ask Secret about that?
Be viable.
Because he didn't work out too well for them either.
Definitely a situational pick. Let's put it that way. And
situational if you want to lose in a Swiss format. Now, I don't know. I'm not sold on the hero. I'm waiting to be impressed.
I'm just saying LFY were the first ones to grab him, so just pointing towards those really big, beefy kind of cores. So Dragon Knight banned, and now the Tinker going to be banned out. I haven't seen much Tinker this tournament. He was nerfed in the last little patch that we got. Yeah. The laser was really the big one.
He's a nasty fellow, though. You don't want to let VP sneak away with that one or something.
Yeah.
Man, what's Virtus Pro going to do without Gyrocopter? I feel like ever since that final, that's all I can think of when I look at VP. I got it all 4 games, won 3 of them.
Yeah, Gyro and Razor banned out. So are there any cores left? I mean, it feels like they are the staple of this meta.
Yeah, we'll see if they have to worry about, like, the Broodmother will be another one that maybe LFY ban next, probably.
Okay.
Just to,
always scary in the best of ones, right? Yeah. Like, we use the word cheese a lot in best of one type strategies for Dota, but Brood fits that model to a T, and now we'll see VP settle on a 5th ban on the Tiny.
Okay. Not the standard AA pairing in terms of a core, but would have worked out fairly well there. Could have been played as a 4 as well, possibly. Would have left some flexibility, but we still have those options like the Sven, the CK, or even that Wraith King. We've teased a little bit maybe in terms of partners with the Ancient Apparition in lane.
It's pretty good, though. Having the stun and then the tapering slow from Wraith King is definitely good for the cold feed procs. I think AA-CK is that #1 duo that I think it's just ridiculous. Yeah. It solves all of the problems that CK has in that early stage. You know, he wants to free farm, he wants that early space, those early kills, and they're just really, I don't know if there's another hero that pairs quite as well. Even just having that slow on the ground that AA can put down helps CK close that gap, stay on his targets. All
when you have
stuff.
burst as well against a Death Prophet, that feels amazing, right? If you can actually just eliminate her at the start of the fight, that's kind of the key up against this hero. So don't give her a chance to get off that Yule Scepter. Just blow her up with the CK helped out by an AA.
Yep. Also kind of a low armor hero, and CK tends to do pretty well against heroes without an abundance of armor. Oracle, now the 5th ban from LFY. We have seen a little bit of Oracle in this short group stage so far, maybe just one Oracle game that I can remember. In kind of a weird place right now. Actually, a little surprised to see that hero banned out.
Just used to be a classic combo with the Death Prophet. It would have been weird in this draft, though, right? Because then they would have had Oracle and Witch Doctor as your support duo.
Yeah, especially against an AA, too. Yeah. Feels like they've already got a pretty good counter there. But now the Terrorblade for VP. This is a hero we were talking about earlier today. You know, he was sort of the talk of the town if you're a Reddit user, and now TB really hasn't been getting too much love this event, but here we go.
Yeah, he's still insanely strong. He tends to get banned out in the second phase, I would say right now, just because he's not ready. Like, most teams aren't ready to pick him in the first phase, but exceptionally strong, lasts the whole game, and oh, would you look at that, guys? It's Earth Spirit. Who would have thought?
Yeah, no surprise. Earth Spirit, Ancient Apparition, a great supporting cast. And if make up for what the other lacks, and just gives you a lot of flexibility in those lanes for rotations.
So now the question will be, though, how are they going to actually enable Afu? If he wants to get stuff done in the early game, first off, your Omninet needs a couple levels before he's super helpful in terms of, like, a couple of points of purification with 1 level in the degen aura, maybe. You can start punching somebody, and then you can roll in and get that damage. So he's the final lane to actually do that in.
So Earthshaker goes the other way, actually. It's Virtus Pro that will pick it up. Likely their position 4 to pair with the Witch Doctor, but it could also be the offlaner, I suppose. Position 3 Earthshaker. Pretty rare, but worth mentioning in case, it does give Virtus Pro a little bit of flexibility with this final pick.
Yeah.
I guess I'm also surprised to see TB picked into Ancient Apparition. Isn't AA regarded as one of the better supports to try to deal with the Terrorblade?
It's fairly okay. I mean, for the most part, he's
fairly okay.
Hey, guys. We're on.
CK, baby.
Yeah. So LFY definitely taking those standard heroes, but you think about TB. TB's actually fairly good against CK, though. You just pop the Reflection, all those Phantasm Illusions, and suddenly they're all over the place. But the fact that the Illusion no longer slows the attack speed, that kind of sucks. That used to be pretty good against CK, right?
Yeah. It was a great anti-carry spell, and it still is in some ways. It has that little wall of replica type feel, but yeah, I'm not convinced that TB just straight up wins that matchup versus CK by any
especially
stretch.
when CK is just like, it's so good synergistically with the rest of LFY's team that just because it's being countered a little bit doesn't mean it's suddenly falling apart here.
Yeah,
like that lane is very dangerous, and that pretty much completely cancels out the idea of off-lane Earthshaker. They're going to need something more survivable, probably like a puck ban here. But if they took the puck, they'd also have like almost no frontliner, so it's a little bit awkward. Plus, they then need to be playing puck into Earth Spirit. But just thinking about survivable offlaners.
Is there any sort of like aggro try scenario for Virtus Pro where they could get that Earthshaker in a solo matchup? I guess Earthshaker versus Omni isn't an amazing matchup for the Earthshaker, but you'll still get something out of that. I mean, he never really does well as an offlaner, right? It's always this scraping by until you can get a little bit of gold for your core items. I feel like that matchup is palpable for the Earthshaker, though not ideal.
Well, they'll actually remove the Batrider themselves with that Oracle being picked out before. Just kind of thinking that they had that on the brain, so.
Yeah, looking for a mid laner here. You're like your superhero.
Pugna seems kind of okay. I'm all right with Pugna.
We'll give them a fair bit of push to go with the CK. It looks like they've made a decision.
Oh,
It'll be the
go.
Lina. Okay,
Ooh.
so this is a hero that was buffed a fair bit in this last patch. She is got potential. I mentioned I wanted to see some core Lina in this tournament, and some of the other talent laughed at me. So I'm not sure exactly how strong
Red Eye
she's
wants
regarded
position
right now.
5 Wind Ranger, so you're not the biggest laughing stock. It's okay.
Well, but she has a lot of weaknesses, though, right? She's still a mid that can be roamed on relatively easily. I think is one of her problems.
She needs quite a few items as well, but she's a BKB because she's an Omni Knight. So that's really going to help her. Just stay involved during these engagements. She's a ton of magical damage to pump into this Terrorblade with a low HP pool. And even if she possibly goes Ags this game, it would actually be kind of okay. That pure damage could be kind of sick against like a DP who might get a hood, or the Terrorblade just obviously trying to survive with armor.
It's also nice to have a good AoE skill shot stun like the Light Strike Array to pair up with the Chaos Knight. So now they can. I could see a scenario where they take this Terrorblade from full to 0 before he even gets a chance to sunder.
Definitely. Same thing with the DP too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of burst here.
A lot of burst and a lot of good control. And remember, there's going to be that Ice Blast, so even less damage required to find those kills in a lot of scenarios. But what does VP need here with their last pick?
Feels like they have to like Tide or something. Like I think Sand King would almost be the ideal hero here. Someone who is just waiting for them to jump.
Yeah, is it the Tide? No, it's the Brew.
Okay, so that's a really slow counter initiator, but definitely lane's a lot better. So there's no doubt about that.
Brewmaster, final pick. Well, it does give them some good mid-game team fight. And I think as we were talking about, DP and Terrorblade both could be susceptible to the burst, and Brew is a great like mid-game chaos creator that can just help break up those team fights so they can't get those proper CC chains going.
Yeah.
I'm definitely favoring this LGDFY draft, though. Even with the Lina pick, I think their strategy just feels a little more straightforward, where VP, they need to execute these team fights to take a win.
Yeah, I just like CKAA, honestly. I'm a very big fan. So in terms of like what does each team need to get done, so let's see. Our lane, I feel like Monet obviously needs to get off to a good start. That's kind of the key thing for CK. Never wants to play catch-up. You want kills, you want lots of gold early, but he's well set up for that because he has that AA. He's got Afu as well, who should be kind of free to move around a bit. He doesn't have to be in that lane all the time. They'd still have a kill threat with just 2 heroes. So as long as Pasha and whoever he's partnered up with don't slow him down too much, I like their chances. But VP, what do we need from them?
I think Roger needs to have a pretty standout performance here. You know, the support Earthshaker, we've talked about, it's sort of a one-and-done type hero with the fissures. So especially in the early game, you have to make every single fissure count.
Yeah, big pressure on him. And then also no one. Those first couple exorcisms, you want to get a tower, ideally.
It's true.
Can be difficult. So he doesn't have a playmaker, too, which is kind of the way that no one kind of saves them games sometimes, where he'll play this Queen of Pain or this Puck, and they'll be losing, and they're down like 3K early, and you're like, oh my god, this game's over. And then suddenly no one TPs into a tower and just like gets a triple kill, and you're like, all right, VB's back.
Yeah. I would definitely expect to see a fair bit of pressure on this mid lane. Both sides have the potential to snowball. If Lina gets off to a great start, finds a kill at level 6 right when that Laguna Blade comes out, she can take over and be hard to deal with, and we've seen that happen with Death Prophet in many a game when she has a snowbally start. And also both teams have pretty good roaming supports. You know, Earthshaker, Witch Doctor, they've got a lot of power in terms of finding early kills, and no doubt the Earth Spirit, Ancient Apparition, can do the same. But here we go, LFY with a 5-hero smoke into the enemy jungle. They are hungry for blood and trying to start this one off with a nice aggressive burst, but might not be able to find what they're looking for. Radiant have already got a ward down here. They're going to plant a ward of their own on the other side of the trees. But will they find more? Trent, Pasha tucked under the tower. It's not looking like it.
Yeah, they don't want to give away anything about how they're laning and setting up here from VP. They have successfully guessed that they're going to go aggro. And with that Observer ward from VP, they're going to see them all down here and be like, oh yeah, Monet's around.
Yep.
So, I mean, you'd be very happy, obviously, fighting into a Terrorblade with a Earthshaker Witch Doctor support duo. Witch Doctor, very strong. Definitely nothing against that hero. Earthshaker really sucks.
Yeah, not great
defending, like,
in those tri-lane scenarios. He's amazing for the surprise factor. You know, you come out of the trees, if you can block someone off with a fissure, he can help you secure those kills. So it's not to say that Earthshaker is useless in a tri-lane scenario, but generally it's heroes like the Witch Doctor, like a Lion, a Vengeful Spirit, those very spammable stuns where you can constantly put harassment on and pressure that enemy carry. Roger looking for the creep pull, and it looks like he'll find it, but will this be punished? Afu comes in, rolling boulder will be off the mark, but Yao going to wrap around, and now Roger's going to find himself in a sticky situation. Chilling touch, adding a lot of damage. Chaos Bolt from Monet, locking him down, and that will be a first blood. Yao finding the bonus gold.
Afu was trying not to steal it there, so that'll give it to Yao, and yeah, he's going to get boots for free.
There you go. Good reaction, though, from LFY. The Earth Spirit TPing in. Obviously worth it to secure that early kill and to punish the Earthshaker from that relatively greedy play. You know, expected, but good on LFY to make the punish.
Now we'll see exactly where Solo winds up going. Does he go hang out around bottom or anything? Is he just good to go?
See our triple cam here as everyone gets settled in the lanes. Ramses versus Ohio in the bottom. Super versus no one in the mid. And up top, it's going to be Monet versus Pasha as supports start to move around a little bit and find a home in this early game. We'll see that Earth Spirit posturing like he wants to head mid. No big surprise there. And already, Roger is rotating in to maybe block out Super. Level 2 has been found. There's the block out, and Super really not a lot of options. He's going to turn and try to fight no one as best he can. They're going to go blow for blow, and this will be a kill in the mid lane. Roger trying to ensure that his mid gets it, but now the Earth Spirit comes rolling in. Not going to be enough for the kill, but Afu putting on some counter pressure. As we were looking at that mid, they did find a kill on the Brewmaster in the top lane. Yao, once again, getting credit for that one.
It just shows the power of that combo. Just 2 heroes able to kill a Brewmaster. There are not a lot of 2 heroes that can just like solo him like that, you know? Like, one of the tankiest offlaners we have right now with his annoying Drunken Haze.
Yep. Definitely the combo. Ohio, the solo offlane Omni. I think we saw him actually play this hero in their first match yesterday.
Yep.
And he was out of control. He was the leading farmer on the team. He had a really good lane matchup, so might not see the same thing again here, but definitely a hero that Ohio knows very well.
He also couldn't do anything with that net worth, really, though. Was one of the biggest problems. So right now, he's going to have a lot of trouble versus the Witch Doctor. You would think that it would be kind of okay. But, oof.
Maledict not going to be enough for the kill. I don't think. He's got a Purification, so he'll be fine. Yeah, a lot of pressure on him in this lane. Not that typical. Anytime Omni gets that 1v1 versus a melee, it's just a stomp. But if you can set up the lanes like this, not a lot of pressure that he can put on Ramses, who is happily free farming in the bottom.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues versus Witch Doctor. First off, you can't even dispel Maledict. So
Super, once again, blocked out, but this time he's on the high ground. Afu going to be able to roll in, and they're going to try to turn onto no one. The Spirit Siphon helping him out as Super makes it to the high ground. Dragon Slave, not enough. The DP will live, and now they turn on to Roger. Afu, maybe the one that's going to fall, and it's a DP that will find credit. 1 for 1.
That uphill ward.
Yep, pick up a support kill. That DP able to survive that last Dragon Slave.
Yeah, it was a bit close.
Close, but no cigar. Up top, Brewmaster putting a lot of pressure onto Yao. That Ancient Apparition standing his ground, kind of baiting him over, and this could maybe be a counter kill the other way. The Rolling Boulder, Cold Feet will
nice
proc,
body blocks.
and now CK comes in with the Reality Rift, and Pasha will suffer another death, 4-2, as LFY pressure this top lane.
Yeah, I saw Afu not giving that one up this time. He intentionally took that kill. He wants those brown boots. He's got to get a roaming around here.
Good on Yao, though, to kind of know his limits on the Ancient Apparition, stand his ground, and make Pasha linger around just long enough that they can secure that kill.
I think they're going to think Roger just planted a ward. He just walked up on the high ground mid and just like backed himself away. Saw some pings come out. Ohio just constantly playing down here in this jungle.
Yeah, well, he's doing a good job with it. Intercepting solo, not letting him just get this free experience.
Only problem is he just can't touch Ramses at all.
Yeah.
Complete free game to start with. But likewise, same thing is happening for the CK. The only reason Monet's behind on last hits is he's taking the time to get some kills. So he's we'll put him a little bit of gold behind the Terrorblade, but obviously the Brewmaster's having an equally rough time as the Omni.
Yeah, and it also does help the LFY supports come online, finding those kills. We'll see some action in the mid. Afu actually getting turned on. He'll be the first one to go down, but Super brings down Roger, and it's again a support for support. But now Yao's rotated in. No one in a lot of trouble. The Cold Feet will connect. Dragon Slaves there for the kill, and it's a double for Super, as it's now 6-3. This mid lane starting to shift in favor of the Lina.
I heard Purge talking about in that last game too, in terms of the chilling touch. My God, this skill has just gotten so much better. I still find it hard to believe. Like I couldn't stand when it slowed the attack speed. It felt so bad, and now it just feels amazing. Throw this on Alina, you know, she still hits just as fast. Tons of magic damage.
Yeah, now it just feels like a straight buff. Rolling Boulder again onto no one. Yao still nearby, but Earthshaker breaks up the fight. I don't think LFY will find a kill this time. They will be forced back. Right now, Super a full level ahead of no one, as these two mid lane cores go blow for blow. It's going to be a road to recovery for this DP. Meanwhile, down bottom, Ramses putting some pressure on this tower with this Metamorphosis.
Our game basically doesn't really start to move much from here until we have level 6 on the Brewmaster. There's not really a hero on the side of the Dire that's going to want to make rotations or do too much right early on. I mean, Lina will like to smoke into a lane or something and try and work off of a CK stun or something, but those big plays will be the Brewmaster. And other than just being annoying in lane with Drunken Haze, he of course has that next level with his ultimate where he can do the Dispel to like all the summons from the CK. So kind of helpful there to help whittle them down.
It's true.
As Pasha. Bottom lane, Ohio doesn't have his TP, but I think he's okay. Whew, a little bit close there, 70 HP.
Yeah, definitely a close one. Up top now, Pasha initiated on. Afu and Yao, the roaming duo. Going to be tough to find this kill, but they might just be able to get it. 2 more auto attacks, and it'll be there. The Cold Feet come, and Yao has the damage. Brewmaster able to get both bounty runes before he falls, so it wasn't for nothing, but far from ideal. Now back in the mid lane, Super gets blocked out again. Roger on point with these fissures as the Spirit Siphon comes. Laguna Blade, Super is going to try to turn this one around. His supports are on the way, but they're just a little too far. Super on the run, will survive. Now on the backside, it's no one versus the 2 supports, Cold Feet, and they will be able to bring him down. Super also finishes off Roger. It ends up being a twofer.
He had the blind stun in the trees while salving to then get the kill on top of the Earthshaker. Very nicely played. Man, he's been stuck on level 2 for so long for Roger.
Yeah, this is becoming a big problem. The experience deficit, over 1,000 in favor of LFY. Earthshaker only level 2, Witch Doctor only level 3, and this Brewmaster pretty much a full level behind the Omni Knight, now stuck at 4. So
it's going to be a real battle for that tome.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be spam clicking.
That's true.
Oh, no, sorry. I really need it, guys.
It's brutal, though, because, I mean, even the DP being behind in experience just now hits level 6, finds the Exorcism. You know, Super's almost level 7, and it feels like so much of Virtus Pro's power comes in those ultimates, like you were talking about with the Brewmaster. Like, this really sets them behind.
Yeah. But they have Ramses.
They do have Ramses.
So
a lot of pressure, a lot of eggs in the Ramses basket right now. When you look at that net worth, he is the leading farmer in the game, but pretty big drop off after that. Lina really with a good margin over the DP right now.
Yeah, he'd like to get this tower knocked down pretty soon. Not using the meta very offensively in terms of heroes. Oh, good ward place down here.
Yeah.
Spots where Roger is.
Right next to that Radiant ward. Both teams with really good vision over this mid lane, realizing how important it is to secure that farm for their cores. Roger looking for this bounty rune, perhaps.
They might be able to turn this as well onto Ohio.
Maybe. The level 5 Omni does have some support. Afu drops the stun, and now Solo's the one in trouble. Cask will take a couple of bounces. Now Ramsey's rotating in. It's a straight 3-on-3 as Yao comes down as well, but both sides will just disengage as Ohio TP's back down to his tier 1 tower.
Nice short TP, just to get all this experience.
Yeah. Metamorphosis pop by Ramses, but he gets repelled off the tower, and we'll just use the meta for farming, it seems. He'll do what he can to push here, but Ohio's going to pull it off the tower. No glyph for LFY, actually. So if Ramses wanted to commit to this, he could bring this tower down into deny range, but they're not going to have it. Afu comes rolling in. A nice stun on 2 with the kick forward. Ohio drops the heal and then the repel. There is a Sunder that they'll have to be aware of, but instead they focus onto Roger. He goes down first, and the Sunder is enough to bring down Afu. So
yeah.
Ramses really not threatened too much there.
He's also only level 3, so no silence available.
Ah, that's true.
Bit of a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
Made a little bit of free play for Ramses.
Yeah, a little sign of life for Virtus Pro. Ramses gets some additional gold, but still a pretty sizable lead for LFY, just shy of 2,000 as we get close to this 10-minute mark. They are definitely positioned well to move into this mid-game. Lina, level 8 now, looking for a Yule's Scepter as her first item. No surprise, movement speed very important on this hero, but also having that setup for Light Strike Array. Very nice.
Yeah, it's still going to take them a while. They're going to have to commit the Phantasm down here if they want to just like shove this tower in nice and quick. But all this time with the CK down bottom is giving that space to Afu up top, so he's going to get level 6 as fast as he can. And overall, probably pretty happy. I mean, Ramses went mid and took one of the stacks that was there. I'm sure no one's just like, oh, really, dude? Kind of enjoying crypt swarming those.
Yep. Well, it's tome time here, Trent. Yao's going to pick it up on the Dire, the level 4 Ancient Apparition. Very curious where it goes on the Radiant. I have to imagine it goes to Roger on this Earthshaker, still stuck at only level 3.
Yeah, more than likely.
But we'll see.
Of course, you could also get kills at level 6 on the Brewmaster pretty easily if Witch Doctor gets it.
Yeah, very true.
Then they'll both be 6. And then just go
Brewmaster
gank.
also just now hitting level 6, so he does have that primal split. If Monet wants to try to push this tower, they may have to deal with that Brewmaster if they mount a defense. But right now, everybody pretty happy to farm. This started as a really aggressive early game, and now it seems like both sides are just focused on getting those core levels and finding that early farm.
Afu's forced to even just pull the wave up top because he can't go into the wave while Pasha now has level 6.
Yeah.
And so we're finally looking towards that wrap. Yeah, Roger is going back to the tier 2, worried about his own safety. Good choice.
Definitely a heads-up play. Monet hiding on the other side of the tree line, just ready to initiate. He is also 1 creep kill away from the armlet, always a key item on the CK to come online at this early stage. So let's move into the pressure on the tower. They've got a siege creep here as well. Even the Radiant, or Dire scan used rather, to see if Roger might be hiding in this tree line. He comes back clean, and they'll feel relatively safe trying to knock down this tower. The glyph does come out for Virtus Pro.
Dude, Yao is so ready for this fight with the ulti. He's just bagging him.
Yeah, that level 6 AA. Virtus Pro kind of posturing like they could mount a defense here. They're going to start rotating a few heroes from the mid. No one, as well as Solo.
Top lane, he will
Pretty
roll
nearby.
out there. I think Afu's okay. Obviously, it's just a Brewmaster, so...
Down bottom, though, the fight breaks out as Yao gets caught by the Spirit Siphon. He'll be the first one to fall. That's his dominating streak ended by no one. All of a sudden, 4 heroes from Virtus Pro rotate into this lane, and a nice block out from Roger secures the kill.
Everyone's just going to back away, and it'll be another tower not in deny range. So, bottom lane, both quite low. Ramses
defense.
is just hanging out up top with his TP.
They didn't even need to use the Primal Split for that. Now Pasha will get a little bit of space in the safe lane. And he's got 1,300 gold towards that Blink Dagger. Not too bad for 12 minutes, given that this Brew had a relatively slow start as Ramses continues to farm up top. And actually bumps into Yao with the Metamorphosis on. Not going to pursue, but Yao takes a lot of damage from just a couple of right clicks.
Yeah, steals his stack and comes over, almost kills him.
Pretty brutal.
And we're still waiting on that first Exorcism. Looks like this Haste Rune is going to go by without using it here as well. Let's see if Super is ready for a smoke maybe soon, just to go around with his Yule Scepter. But
this is a difficult window for the Death Prophet. He had sort of a slow laning phase, so that means the Yule Scepter is delayed, and that really is the key item that lets DP feel confident popping that ultimate, taking team fights, pressuring towers. Before the Yules comes out, it just seems like you have to play this hero a little more conservative.
Man, it doesn't feel like we've had 15 kills. I feel like it's been rather slow. I guess they all just kind of got clumped near the start, eh? But
yeah.
Other than that, we've been very stationary for a while here.
Yeah, both teams really focused on farm. Monet and Ohio now putting more pressure on this bottom tier 1. Roger with another stun just to try to slow things down. He will just TP out. They let the tower fall. And it will actually just go to the creeps.
Yeah, but now you want to get back top.
Solo gets rolled on. HNAP Bershing going to be nearby. Ohio TP's in, and there is nothing that Witch Doctor can do. Wow.
Ooh, this is nice, though, because if they can just have the supports push them off there, that means that Monet can stay bottom. He can still farm that whole area, move back, farm up in here, grab the bounty runes. So that's what kind of forces no one over here to be like, nah, nothing free for you. I have to give my mid to my Earthshaker, so I need something over here.
Yeah, and speaking of Yule's Scepters, it's up on Super. Lina also level 11, so there will be a pretty good window to fight if you're on the side of LFY with that level 2 Laguna and the setup from Yule's. Definitely find some pickoffs.
Yeah, I feel like they've been waiting a while. Like, she still hasn't used it. She's had it for like 2 minutes at this point. It'd be nice to get a smoke play or something with it. And so this one, they're going to go for it. There's no Radiant Vision over here. And they will smoke up. They're going to try and hunt down this old TB. And they saw him under the ward. They see where he's rotating. They're going to run into the smoke of the Radiant, though.
Here we go, initiation onto the Witch Doctor, but a great stun from Roger to break it up. The Exorcism comes, and now the Phantasm as well. Roger drops the Echo Slam. LFY low, but the GA comes out, and Roger gets blasted down by the Laguna Blade. It looks like this is VP's fight to take as they chase down Yao. Yule's Scepter, or pardon me, that's the Cyclone up on Lina. She comes back down to an untimely welcome. Ohio is back in the fray. He gets magnetized, stunned up, and destroyed. Virtus Pro come out huge, losing only their Earthshaker and picking up so much more in return.
Yeah, no one just absolutely destroyed that fight. Like, the very beginning, he just silences 3 heroes. They come up the ramp, and they were so ready to go from LFY, you know? If he doesn't get that silence off right there, the heroes are going to get blown up. We know this is a very bursty lineup from LFY. They're looking to just eliminate someone at the very beginning of the fight, and that all got delayed because of that silence.
Yeah, about an 1,800 gold swing from that. The lead that LFY had completely dissipates as now Virtus Pro take control. We talked about Ramses being really farmed. Now he is extra farmed. We got the replay here to take a look at. It looked like a good initiation catching the Witch Doctor, but the fissure from Roger is really what allowed this fight to take such a nasty turn. He focuses hard on Yao, who survives maybe a little bit longer than planned, but you know, in the draft we were talking about Roger is one of the key playmakers we're going to look out for, and so far, Trent, I feel like he has lived up to those expectations.
Yeah, man, that's what gets you a Mercedes, you know?
Yeah.
Those kind of fissures.
Absolutely. So a rocky team fight for LFY. They will have to recollect. I can't help but feel like they're playing a little bit slow around this Lina. I would have thought, sort of like you were saying, as soon as that Yule's Scepter comes out is the time to make that rotation. Generally
Super's
a hero
playing
that,
super things.
Yeah, well, generally a hero that you don't want that ultimate to be off cooldown for too long, right?
Yeah, this is more like super. Sitting in mid, hitting the tower. Pretty much what he's been wanting to do for the past 16 minutes.
Yeah. Tier 1 up top does fall. Ramsey's going to get credit for that one.
God, his game is just so good right now. Bottom, untouched, go into a fight, pop my meta, kill a bunch of heroes, go back to farming, take a tower. You guys going to fight mid? I think I'll pass. I might show up later. I don't know. I got 25 seconds till meta. So, nice abuse of that cooldown here from LFY. Ramsey's still going to show up. He's got Sunder. There's plays to be made.
Yeah, they do glyph. Tower will not be defended. Super finds the last hit. VP in a position to take a fight. Instead, they find Yao. They were split 2 on either side of the lane, and Yao will be on the receiving end of it. That's now a dominating streak for no one.
Thought DP wasn't supposed to be a playmaking hero, but he's doing pretty well so far. 6-2-3 with 1 exorcism used, I want to say.
Yeah, really that one team fight recovered everything that DP lost in the lane. She's now going to move into a Hood of Defiance, and Alina will pick up the Kaya. A lot of synergy with that item on her.
Just, again, though, I mean...
Oh, down bottom.
Can we zap somebody?
Phantasm
like,
used by Monet, looking for the Reality Rift onto Roger. The Echo Slam comes. Roger in a bit of a sticky situation. Will probably still go down here, and he does. Pasha gets silenced as he tries to jump in. Big damage from the Magnetize, and Pasha will fall before he can ult. A disastrous fight for VP as they lose 3. Monet will maybe go down to the Maledict. I don't think so, but it's going to be a little close. He's armlet toggling well, and this will be enough to keep him alive. Well done.
Yep. Handy item against the old Witch Doctor.
But just like that, Trent, it swings back the other way. 3-0. Kind of odd as well. Monet popped that ultimate. It seemed like Roger was aware of it as he moved into the tree line, yet VP still continued to try to take that fight.
Yeah, I think he thought, like, if we get the follow-up, right? If we have the Brewmaster coming in with his ultimate, he's a Blink Dagger. He's got Soul Ring. You know, he's ready to go. Now he's a medallion too. He just purchased up. Oh, speaking of Blink Daggers, Afu, man, he's so good at this.
Wow.
I don't know.
18 minutes.
He gets it so early. In games where I don't know, he's been very involved. He's 2, 3, and 9. 11 of their 16 kills. He's been there. Super by comparison is part of 6. Ohio only 3. My God, he's really out there this game. He is not hanging with the team. He's got a mech. He's involved in 3 of the kills.
Interesting. Wow, much different build than what we saw last time. But look at this, Trent. Roche Pit, it's a double damage rune that spawned right outside. They've got the medallion. Now TB pops the meta. And VP will fish their wish with an early Roche and a small stroke of luck with that double damage to make it go down faster than LFY can react. The Ice Blast will fly through, comes in just a bit too late, clips Ramses, but
this makes him look even cooler. It's like more Arcana effects here, you know? He's got a DD, he's frostbitten.
That's true. A lot of particles coming out of Terrorblade right now. But they will just transition this into an easy tower push, Exorcism, plus the double damage. The glyph comes, but it just delays the inevitable. LFY with the same idea. They'll rotate down bottom. This tier 2 taking a lot of damage. They force out a glyph. It looks like they are committed to try to bring it down. Super just sitting in the back line, laying in the fireballs, and they will go tower for tower. So well done by LFY. They at least get something out of that despite losing some objectives. The real scary thing, though, is this Ramses Terrorblade feels out of control. He's got the drums, and now he has the Manta.
And Roger has a blink, so that's also rather terrifying. But, all right, here we go. So we got a couple little battling items here now, right? We have the battle between Earth Spirit and Earthshaker, right? That's going to be what determines essentially the next 5 or 10 minutes of this game. Is like, who gets off that big jump? Who gets the stuns before these BKBs come out in time? Can you stop Monet from ulting? Can you just, like, blow up Ohio or something before he gets any of his spells off? Greaves is great against the silence, but again, if he gets controlled up by Roger, he's going to have nothing to do. But the same way goes to the other side. Afu can come in with a big kick. There won't be any real answer there from no one, and he's going to be the one who like dictates that fight into a big, maybe someone just gets blown up by CK, or there's going to be like a 2 or 3 man LSA or something like that. That all just kind of rides on those 2 supports.
I mean, you called the build for the CK. It's a core item right into the Magic community. He's got a fresh BKB. And they are smoked up, looking for blood. Blink Dagger queued up next for the Chaos Knight. They are going to rotate up top. Only 2 heroes from VP in I-line, Ramses and Roger. But are they actually going to be able to find them before they TP out? And it does not look like it. Okay, another failed smoke attempt for LFY, not finding what they were hoping for.
Yeah, Omni Knight again. Don't have the best catch coming from your offlaner. It's basically all on Earth Spirit. And they'll continue their balling. They're all under a ward,
position here, though. Exactly. The Bruce split to start things off. Roger with a blink Echo Slam. Yao does throw an Ice Blast in, but not able to channel it the way that he wants. Now Ramses, he's getting Laguna. That's going to be the end of the Aegis. Now the GA comes out, but this still looks like Virtus Pro's fight. Ramses is back to life. He does have the Metamorphosis. He's going to opt to use it now. They're going to turn and commit to this. No one gets brought down with the BKB from Monet.
How is this fight not going their way?
And now Pasha back in brew form. Ramses needs to be a little careful here. If they can bring down Super, that would be huge. VP have reinitiated, but the Repel has actually kept this Lina alive. And now they destroy Pasha. Solo gets left behind. It's a triple kill for Monet, but Roger on the back line finds Ohio. A little pick-me-up for Virtus Pro, but they're probably going to lose another, and it's 4 down. The Terrorblade, the only one that survives, and it's because he had an Aegis. We'll see the replay momentarily, I hope, but how on earth did that go so well for LFY? It looked like the perfect setup for VP.
Yeah, BKB is it's a pretty good item.
It is.
You might say.
Honestly, the Repel from Omni Knight saved the Lina there, 100%. So let's take a look at this replay. As Trent mentioned, they're under a ward, so the Brew just jumps in right away to initiate. The Ice Blast gets interrupted, so it actually doesn't really do all that much in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, Afu doesn't die, right? Like, he still gets cast the spells. He gets out. He can still be a factor.
I mean, even the GA, it only hits 2 heroes. Yeah. Super and Ohio were the only ones affected by that immunity.
I mean, the real problem just because they didn't handle Monet. He just walked out of that whole Echo Slam and everything like that, right? So when he's the guy who's got the damage, he just blows people up, and then there's that big save that comes in 2-1 to Super right near the end with the Repel.
I mean,
cost
honestly,
Ohio his life.
There was no secret to that team fight. It was really just LFY did a great job of mitigating the damage, backing up, resetting, and then jumping back into the fight once VP had already used their cooldowns, right? Once the Aegis was gone, once that Bruce split was done, once the DP was dead. they had the green light to just commit hard.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so good, but then when you actually factor in as to like how the damage has to be output from VP, it's like, yeah, there's a big Echo Slam and this Fisher that stopped the Ice Blast, but first off, Brewmaster didn't even clap, so you're missing a lot of damage right there. I mean, that's 300 damage right there. And then your cores weren't really that close as the fight initiated, so no one else was capitalizing off of that Echo Slam. It was just Shaker's own damage, so there's no Terrorblade wailing into someone while they're stunned, there's no DP spamming Crypt Swarms or with a follow-up silence or something like that, so although it looked really pretty, and it was sick in the moment, you're kind of just like, oh shit, they actually don't have enough damage right now.
Yeah, and maybe the Brew jumped the gun just a little bit. It looked like a great opening for Pasha, but as you said, the other cores just weren't quite there to capitalize on how the Brew started off that fight. But as we were looking at that replay, Lina did pick up her Aghanim Scepter, and up top we'll see initiation onto the Panda. He does have a split, but will not be able to use it. It's Afu that finds credit for that one, as the Ice Blast connects to secure the kill. But you know, we were wondering if Lina would want to go for that pure damage, and she's picked it up nice and early.
Yep, I like it against TB. HP pool at 1900 max right now with the BKB.
Allows it to slice through spell immunity. Big stuff. Well, relatively small lead for LFY. 25 minutes in, 3K gold is the swing of really just one team fight. Ramses will pick up another double damage rune. He's got his BKB now, so that's 10 seconds of magic immunity. However, I don't think VP are looking for a fight at this particular moment.
Still a very tight game right now. I mean, you could fight. There is a DD for Ramses, so yeah, they happen to find one.
And if when the Brew does come up, he will have split, so it's not the worst plan. Also, the Guardian Greaves up on Omni Knight, like you were mentioning, amazing against the silence from DP. So just one more tool in the arsenal of LFY.
Crimson Guard, we were talking about being a pretty popular item at this tournament as well. And Omni, certainly going to be helpful up against the TB with that, and the DP, I suppose.
Yeah, Crimson Guard feels like it's in a really good place. You know, a relatively short cooldown, doesn't cost mana, and it mitigates a surprising amount of damage. Sometimes it feels almost like a second glyph at times when you're trying to defend the high ground.
Yeah. For now, it'll just be a little bit of a rat Dota. The bots are done for Super. So he heads back home, so he can keep pushing out on these side lanes, try and match what Ramses is doing. And no one been playing this very momentum-based hero and not having a lot of success in that regard. Just, you know, this Exorcism has spent the vast majority of the game off cooldown. It's just like chilling, hanging out, can't do anything, not taking big objectives with it.
Well, it will be a relatively fast Roche respawn. Looks like he is... No, I guess we'll see the timer in another minute. Okay. Slow and steady here, Trent. This is sort of an interesting game where both teams get focused around fighting, and then there seems to be these periods where both teams are just completely focused on farming. Very explosive matchup in that regard. Ramses will de-ward there outside of the Roche pit. Kind of nice for Virtus Pro.
Yeah, everyone just kind of has an item they want right now. Afu wants his Yule Scepter. I mean, Yao's an EA, so he just kind of chills in the jungle, watching Ohio try and farm in that Crimson Guard. And we're just, we're not like trying to push a fight when Split's available. I guess they don't feel strong enough on the side of VP. We're not trying to use Exorcism onto a building, too worried about the counter initiation potentials and what could be lost rather than gained, so.
Yeah. It does feel like both teams are very cooldown reliant, right? You've got Meta, Split, and Exorcism on VP, but then you've got Guardian Angel, you've got the Phantasm, and I guess you could put Laguna Blade in that category, but when both, it's like this war of attrition. When both teams have all their ultimates available, neither side feels really comfortable charging in for a fight. What do you think next item on TB will be here? He's got 3,000 gold in the bank. He's got the Manta and BKB. Is this just a Scotty next?
That would probably be the default item, I would say. Or Butterfly, of course, for just like the evasion up against the CK is probably more reliable. But it also doesn't give you any like HP or anything.
Don't you want the HP to try to deal with that pure damage Laguna? Oh, we're going to see initiation onto the Witch Doctor. Looks like he will fall to the Magnetize.
Doesn't have any heal points yet.
Yep, another kill for Afu there. No Voodoo Restoration. The pure aggro Witch Doctor. Becoming more and more common. You know, we've seen a couple value points in Voodoo early on to try to save somebody, but all about the damage with this hero now.
Yeah, Maledict's just absolutely ridiculous. You really don't want to take away any points, and obviously the same thing goes for Cask, so. Yeah, Shadowblade now done as well here for Super, so some flashbacks here, guys.
Yeah.
You remember the old days of Lina actually being popular. G, I think, was like the big Shadow Blade Lina spammer.
Part of the reason why she was popular in that window is because she could play Spellcaster in the early game and transition into right-click carry towards the late game. And items like Shadow Blade allow you to do that. You know, she does scale relatively well because of her attack speed, so you know, things like crit, things like MKB can actually be pretty potent on this hero.
Yeah, and that talent at 20 is actually sick.
The fiery.
Yeah, you get the plus 25 in terms of the attack speed bonus, and then you also get 5 more move speed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good one. It's tempting to look at that spell amp and go, oh man, Lina's all about the spell damage, but you can grab the fiery stacks, and that's what allows you to be that right clicker. 4-hero smoke coming out of LFY. Most of their smokes have fallen flat this game, but it looks like they are ready to go for something.
So what she took instead? She took the 12% spell amp. I mean, that's understandable, I guess, when you have the Laguna Blade. So the other option would be
you get Ags,
you get up to 110, and then you also get 10% move speed bonus. Sorry. Not plus 5.
Great math, Trent. Well done.
Thank you.
But, I mean, the spell amp does have merit as well. With the Kaya, it does make that Laguna Blade do a pretty absurd amount of damage, to be honest.
Like 1,110, apparently, according to the alt math.
Yep.
Hey, see if that's correct.
That's pure damage, though. That's like half of TV's HP. So you get him to 40% HP, and that Laguna is going to do some work.
Yeah, you're just doing that to yourself for when he sunders you. Duh. It's next level. TV wants this low HP. But yeah, he'll go for the Scotty. Certainly seems like the safer of the 2 more common choices at this point.
Almost feels like it could be a Lincoln's game for VP. You know, maybe not necessarily on the TB, but to be able to buff him up. But now a 5-hero smoke from Virtus Pro. So fresh off that Scotty, Offbu is going to break it, and he will be the sacrificial lamb that dies for this. Honestly, I would call this a victory for LFY. VP were hoping for a lot more.
Not if they get Roche, though.
Okay, that's fair. If they get Roche, then it's great. But that
that's a
could have
hard
been
fight without
worse.
him, honestly. Like, I would really want Earth Spirit for this engagement.
And BKB unknown. Yeah, actually, maybe I spoke too soon, Trent. I think you might be right about this one. Seems like they're going to be able to bring down Roche before LFY can react, even if they wanted to. It looks like Yao's going to throw an Ice Blast in, but that's all you need.
Yeah, that's a real value smoke, honestly. Instant kill, instant Roche. I mean, Super could, if he wanted to be really crazy. They have a sentry on Yao anyway. Or sorry, on Solo.
Okay, so VP, they make a dent. It is still a gold lead for LFY, but again, Aegis ends up in the inventory of the Terrorblade. And they will just go back to farming.
When both of your cores are terrible with Aegis. Yeah. Just choose one of them.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
At least no one gets the cheese.
Less than ideal.
Man, this poor Brewmaster. I guess he's farming kind of okay, but I just feel like Pasha is just... He can't split, can't really do anything. He can't go that far out on the map as they go for initiation onto Roger. Easy blow up.
It feels to me like they could have been doing that a long time ago. That was just Lina with a Shadow Blade, Yule's Scepter, combo him down, pretty much a free kill.
Yeah, but he went for the Eggs before the Shadow Blade. Like, if he had gone Shadow Blade before the Aghanim Scepter, I think he would have been way more active, right?
That's fair. Yeah, definitely.
But now he's just like, yeah, I didn't really feel safe back then.
Maybe it was a read from LFY thinking that Virtus Pro would play this game a little bit more aggressively. Honestly, the way Virtus Pro are playing right now, this isn't a flame, it's just more, they are playing a very conservative style, and they have a reputation for being a very aggressive team. Maybe it's pulling LFY out of their comfort zone a little bit in terms of why they went for that item trajectory.
No, LFY are certainly very comfortable right now. Just farming on the Radiant side of the river, getting that little bit of a vertical split going on the map where they're more comfortable down inside that Radiant jungle than maybe even inside their own at times. But Ramses will retreat back there, has no more backup in that top half of the map. And yeah, we'll see if we get any more of those gank squads coming out. Could use some more vision, that's for sure. They've dewarded quite a few already. Solo grabbed a ward that was near their tier 2 in the mid lane, and now he's just scouting inside their own jungle to ensure there's nothing else there. So good job by him. Tons of sentries on that Radiant side of the map.
Super going for a Lincoln Sphere on Lina now, so going for a more defensive item, get some extra stats.
Just basically doesn't want to get sundered or Yulesed, honestly.
It's a pretty good Lincoln's game. There aren't that many single target spells, so the few that it does block are super value. Yeah, he's going to get caught again. Super with the Yule's Scepter, the easy combo, and yeah, 50% HP. Yeah, just dropped the Laguna. 1,100 damage, that's going to be a kill every time.
He's
So
just zipping around
maybe
this map.
now LFY try to commit to a push. They've got Phantasm and everything else. 40 seconds till Earthshaker comes back up. They're going to head mid.
They have a bit of a siege engine as well this game with the Lina. At level 25, could also go for the 175 attack range, although for keeping up your stacks, that Dragon Slave is kind of insane too. But
Yeah, it takes it to a 2-second cooldown.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Certainly that just takes away from attacking though, so we'll likely see the attack range.
Radiant Glyph up in 10 seconds, so they can certainly mount a defense here if they want to. LFY still respecting the power of Virtus Pro, and they have all these cooldowns available, and really not committing much to that tower. Just auto attacks, no Phantasm used. They will just head back to farming.
Guess they just don't really have a good answer if she's repelled or if the BKB comes out from the CK, right? Like, what do they even do?
Yeah.
If they don't get some flawless initiation before the match community is there, they really have nothing. They're just going to run away if they start being hit by Ramses. They're not going to be threatened by the DP at all.
Yeah.
You can just run away from her too.
Well, now VP go the other way, and they're going to be the ones to pressure this tier 2 in the mid lane. LFY look like they're just going to let it go. No rotations coming in. Instead, they'll just push in the side lanes. That's a free tower for Ramses. VP,
They have to make a decision here, though. I mean, this is the
keep
Aegis,
going.
the cheese. Like,
Yeah. And still a 10-second BKB on DP. So here we go. Dire do have a glyph. They use it straight away. And all the big cooldowns pop from Virtus Pro, but very conservative positioning, putting illusions on the high ground. Ramses does get pulled up by the Reality Rift. He's already popped the Metamorphosis, so if he does die here, it's going to be bad, and the Laguna will bring him down. He can BKB to get out. Not going to use it straight away. Does just get silenced. Now Reality Rifted again back up to the high ground. Ramses pops his BKB, and the rest of his team trying to support him. He is going to make it down to the low ground, and the Death Ward also does fly through as the Brew Split comes. Both teams starting to disengage, and no kills after the Aegis.
Yeah, that was relatively free in terms of an Aegis, right? What did they lose? A fort and 400 damage on their tower?
Phantasm. Yeah, I mean, that's really wasn't a hell of a lot. And that is right there the reason why TB is just not a great Aegis carrier. You know, in that situation, you have to pop the Metamorphosis first because it's your pushing tool alongside the Exorcism. But when you die, that's it. Your Metamorphosis is gone, and all you can do is pretty much BKB and run away at that point. As we
for
saw.
the long-range bomb here onto Solo. Oh, no.
And it is going to hit. Monet catches him. He'll get popped by Maldic, but another freebie here for LFY. No buyback on the Witch Doctor. Down for 40. And now this tier 2 mid will be turned to rubble. There's a double siege creep here, so LFY can actually commit quite a bit to this push. No Phantasm for another 80 seconds. But let's see what they do. Will they press their luck or back up? Yule's Scepter now on the Brewmaster. He does not have a split, and they know this. A silence on the Lina will stop this fight dead in its tracks as they destroy Pasha. Oh, my.
All right, now what more can we get here? BKB is up for the CK. Again, no Phantasm, though. So can we use this Lina Siege Engine and guarantee a tier 3? I would think at the very least.
And still 30 seconds till Exorcism. It feels like a pretty good window. That's the glyph. Super just chucking in the fireballs from the low ground. Hard for VP to really mount a defense here. And Lina find to tank this tower because Ohio's just going to keep throwing the heals to keep her topped off.
Yeah, that downtime on Repel is just kind of crazy these days, though. It used to be so much better.
Yep.
And now it's all the way down to like 11 seconds downtime.
Yeah, Super taking a fair bit of damage that time. Tower down below half HP. Brewmaster up in about 10 seconds.
It's worth noting they don't have an urn here, too. So they can whittle Super down. Even with the purification, it's not quite enough.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And with the Brewmaster up, LFY will look for the retreat. They TP home, and it looks like nobody's going to get caught. They make it.
Yeah, Pasha tries one at the shrine, but
just in time as well. That Brewmaster ult as well as the DP ult were just coming up as they retreated. Perfectly timed.
So I heard you guys enjoyed that 10 minutes where all we did was wait for Roche. So we're going to do that again. So I think that's going to be really fun. Like, what plays can even happen in between there, right? We're basically just looking for solo plays from Super, where he just runs around. Just like nuke solo, right? Am I right? Anyway, they get some vision inside that dire jungle. We need vision in here, so I think that's a line from Yao. He's saying, hey guys, you want to smoke in here and put some wards down? Let's go, woo!
And it's a pretty decent lead for LGD Forever Young right now, Trent. Above 10K, it's about 15K experience.
Yeah, but
really
you know
a sizable
who's on top
advantage.
Is the old Ramses on that TB. Look at that. Whew.
Not by much, though. I mean, 2K net worth, it's a gap that this Lina can close, and she is going to go for Daedalus as her next item. She has the BOTs now, so she is starting to transition from mega burst damage to straight up physical.
Yeah, she's just going to slaying. Wants to hit some heroes, obliterate them.
I like the build.
No defensive choice.
Also, the Crimson Guard completed on Omni Knight. Not an item we've seen used yet, but if they can get Virtus Pro to commit to an actual 5v5 full engagement, that Crimson Guard plus Guardian Angel from the Omni Knight is going to be huge in mitigating damage.
Depending on how rich Super gets, I wouldn't be too surprised if he just bought the Bloodthorn, honestly. But we'll see. I mean, Daedalus is obviously like way higher damage for the money value, but there is this idea of just like, I mean, I'm going to be pretty rich by the time this game ends, and yeah, the active might come in handy.
It's true, and it is really good against a lot of these heroes, right? You catch that Brewmaster with it, you destroy him before he pops the ultimate, same with the DP. A lot of merit, like she has the Yules, so there's a reset, but
there's no question anymore. So she
concept.
just sold her Yules. So she has no defensive item at this point. My God, Super's crazy.
Wow.
I thought he was going to get rid of the Kaya, dude.
I mean, he's got a Linken's and a Shadow Blade.
I mean,
there's some survivability there.
That doesn't do much against like a lot of this burst like combo. I don't know. I'm surprised. I thought he would replace the Kaya over Yules.
I'm a bit surprised as well, but I think it's similar logic to grabbing that Spell Amp, right? He went for the level 20 plus 12 Spell Amp, and then at level 25, he went for the attack range. So starting to transition to that right-click carry, but I think he wants to maintain that huge burst damage so they can continue to shut down Ramses in the team fights.
It's just a lot of pressure on Ohio. Like, he just has to make sure she lives. So the Aghanim Scepter again, we saw the same idea last time, but once more, Roche is up, and they're going to lose it.
I think so. LFY turtled up in the base. They will not be able to get here in time. This is the third Roche going to VP. They will get the Refresher Shard, of course. And, you know, maybe not good heroes for the Aegis, but some amazing heroes for the Refresher Shard.
All right, they're up 8K, and they just lost Roche. Nothing. They're like sitting in their base because they're scared of a smoke coming or something like that, and that's not a good sign, right? They felt powerless. They felt like they can't grow it on the map and that they can't fight into someone if they're being jumped on or something. And part of that, I think, comes from the idea that if there is no Omni, Super just will die.
Yes. I completely agree. Gem has also been picked up. It is Omni Knight that's carrying it around right now, but we'll see this Dire squad start to take a little bit of map control. Is there a gem for the Radiant? There's not. Right now, just Sentry Wards. All right, so I guess that means the ball is in VP's court. Last time they tried to push, didn't really go super well, but also wasn't that bad. They pretty much only lost the Aegis. We'll see Afu and the Invisibility Rune rotates down bottom and could find an opening for a kill. The
Ice Blast is coming.
On the way, and it's going to be off the mark. Solo not going to back up this time, but still, Afu goes for the stun, drops the Magnetize, and it's Super that's down here to help find the kill.
That was nice. Use the bots with the repel.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no counterplay.
The global pressure, Trent.
Yeah. They're trying to use that tome to get Roger up to level 18 so that I guess they're going to give him the shard. I mean, we'll see if it just gets transferred over depending on like an engagement or something. Obviously, the exorcism gets used or meta gets used. They might have to pop it over.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of casually holding it, if he finds that huge echo, he needs to be able to just heads it on and be like, "Oh, guys, I can like win this game right now."
Yeah.
Just need to get a double dunk going.
Double dunk, double fissure.
The chain stuns, man.
I guess Earthshaker really is a pretty incredible hero to have the Refresher Shard, because if you get Refresher Orb on him, he's a hero that often has mana issues, so you can't do that full rotation without other items. But the Shard, of course, does not cost any mana, so pretty good.
Yeah.
And also Linken's Spheres come out on the Terrorblade, so there you go.
All right, we got him. He's too worried about that Laguna, rightfully so.
Absolutely. And they do have some options to break it, but not a lot. I think also useful for the Reality Rift. We've seen that be a really effective tool in just pulling the Terrorblade into an uncomfortable position in most of these team fights.
The only problem is there's also, like, Cold Feet isn't that amazing at this point in the game. It's okay. But
so
yeah, I was
just
going to use it every time.
Yeah.
He's just going to pop that thing over and over.
That's very true. Slow and steady here, Trent Pax. Still some time on the Aegis. Looks like 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, 2.5. We're just maxing and relaxing. 150 GPM. We're going to be here a while. Thanks, Afu. Got to get some value out of this talent.
I mean, Ramses really is starting to pull ahead in terms of farm, though. You know, that gap between him and the Lino is really pretty small, but since they picked up the Roche, since they've been moving around, the deficit is slowly closing, and a lot of it is because of this farm on Ramses. He's got the BKB in the backpack, so when he loses the Aegis, he'll probably swap that BKB back in. Be ready to have that magic immunity. You can tell Virtus Pro are struggling to break this high ground, though. You know, obviously they want to pick a fight, but just unable to find the opening because LFY are so turtled up in their base.
Well, the last outer tower of our game for the Dire side is gone. The Radiant one still remaining one up in the top. And now it's going to be VP posturing over here on the Dire side.
Monet also has a Scotty. I haven't checked in on that CK item progression. He wants MKB next to deal with that butterfly on the Terrorblade, but I feel like Scotty is not an item you see on Chaos Knight all that often. Usually it's like Heart of Tarrasque comes to mind over the Scotty in a lot of cases.
And this game just, it feels so weird, doesn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
very slow. It seems a lot of the games we've seen so far in this tournament, one side often has that feeling of, we have an advantage, let's push it. And it's felt like this entire game, both teams have felt like, let's just wait for them to make a mistake that we can capitalize on.
Yeah, I think VP are just super comfortable. I mean, they have a Brewmaster, they have a Terrorblade, and they have a DP. Like, CK is very scary going late game. There's no question about that, but I don't know. Omni Knight, the Agnum Scepter definitely changes a lot, but he's nowhere near to getting that. He's got the Blink Dagger just to make sure that he can stay near Super, which I think is very important. That's a nice touch instead.
Really important.
But it's just like they just feel way more confident. They don't have the best way to initiate fights just because, like, Brewmaster isn't an instant initiator. He's not a Ravage, right? He's great. He's cool. He does way more in the fight other than Ravage, but you also don't want to dunk first. So there's just this, like, they kind of want LFI to start a fight, and LFI are just never starting a fight, really.
Yeah, exactly. Monet, you know, he is repelled. He goes in, drops a stun onto Ramses, and tries to back up, hoping VP will come in. And Roger, he drops the dunk really early. It's pretty much off the mark. He does have the refresher shard. He's going to use it now, looking for the double dunk, but he's going to die before he can use it. Oh my, a buyback now from Roger. The tier 3 is taking some damage. There's the glyph to keep it alive. An awkward initiation, though. Aegis is down. The Brew Split is coming. It's about to expire. Now the Phantasm gets used, and Monet, he's ready to go in. The tower has fallen. BKBs get popped. No one's the one in the front lines, but now the GA. It's perfectly placed. Roger with a pretty good dunk this time. Does connect on 2. Ramsey's still very healthy. Right now, it's just nobody dying. Both teams doing a lot of damage, but it will be the CK that goes down first. Now the buyback there. The cheese gets eaten, and Ramses wants these barracks. He'll have no more Metamorphosis, and maybe this is the window for LFY to take this fight. They'll bring him down low, but they can't quite finish him off. They do kill Roger. It's a dieback there, but Monet looks like he's moments from dieback as well. Down he goes. Solo dies in the back line. The Pasha gets blasted down by the Laguna, but now Lina, standing her ground, will fall to Ramses. They do not have an answer to this Terrorblade right now. They have to retreat with VP running out of resources. A buyback coming from Lina to try to clean this up. They do get no one. Ramses makes it out, but it is a costly fight for LFY.
God, they end up with 900 more experience, but yeah, they go negative in the gold.
They hold the barracks.
That's true, but they're going to lose their shrines. I can tell you that Super spent about 90% of that fight silenced. He just needs something. He has no BK, like, he just can't cast the spells. He can't do anything. He's just wandering around, and there's just this, like, reflection chasing him.
Yeah.
And Ramsey's just sending illusions after him.
Yeah.
He was not feeling confident.
You might be right about that lack of Eul's Scepter. I mean, he's picked up the MKB now. The right clicks do hurt when Super can get him off, but you have to have the fiery stacks for it to be intimidating.
Honestly, just get a BKB. Like, that's all. I would have rather seen that replace the Eul Scepter. Because, like, yeah, he's got damage, but he barely right-clicked that last fight.
Yeah.
He's just wandering in circles because no one is completely on top of him. Just instantly just silencing him over and over. There's not a lot of downtime on that spell, like 6 seconds.
It was a pretty wild initiation from Roger, though, to just jump in like that so confidently, buy back immediately, and then still get back into the fight and find a second Echo to really do a lot of work. This LFY thinking this is an opening to try to counter-push themselves. They did force out the glyph. They don't have a CK, but there's no... Oh, there is a meta.
Oh,
actually, it's come back. The Dust comes. Ice Blast will not connect on Roger as he gets blasted down by the Laguna. But that's no Earthshaker for 60 seconds, and of course they know he does not have a buyback.
Yeah, that could have been really bad, though. Like, that 3-man Dust right there, if he got off the Fisher and then, like, some follow-up spells, the Echo Slam or something, the Ramsey's there with the meta going, someone might have gone down. But nice plays there from the Earth Spirit Afu, as always, breaking that up. And, well, Pasha, he's looking for his own little bit of breakup here. The Combo Breaker.
Oh, yes.
Did you know that's actually what it's called? The ability itself?
Yeah,
when
passive,
it breaks.
the Combo Breaker.
The Combo Breaker. Thanks, Valve.
That's pretty good.
Good move. It's quite excellent.
I'm a big fan of Eon Disc. It's kind of a funky item, very situational, but on a hero like Brewmaster, it just makes so much sense. Especially against somebody like Lina, you get caught, you're not going to be bursted down, and it ensures pretty much 9 times out of 10 you're going to get off that Primal Split.
They've got the 2 Eon Disc heroes basically in Dota right now, DP and Brewmaster. But
yeah,
the siege engine begins. We have the attack range. Look at that thing go. The Trebuchet of Death. Super.
Okay, now Shrines opened up for both teams, so a little bit of bonus gold. Perhaps Monet does have a double damage rune on, so this first Shrine gonna melt under the pressure. But honestly, Trent, it feels like the stalemate continues. You know, LFY strike back a little bit, but it's a very small gold lead.
Just saw Ramses drop 7 sentries in the base. Bless up, guys. Favorite kind of core player. So here you go, Solo. Get out there, dude. I need this side of the map de-warded.
Yeah. It's needed, the D-Ward, and then also those Lina rotations. We've seen her find a couple successful pickoffs with that Shadow Blade. An abundance of sentries will certainly help with that. Roshan has respawned. So this is Roche 4. Of course, that does mean another Refresher Shard, another Cheese, but this time LFY are in a better position to try and deal with it. Vision-wise, not great. They do have one down on that plateau.
Not for long.
And it looks like it's about to be D-Warded. Well, that's a bummer.
Solo's got the knowledge. Oh, smoke up here. From LFY, sneaking past the Terrorblade illusion. Oh, don't see us. Don't attack at anybody.
Okay.
Trying to find the best wraparound play here. Looks like VP are suspect here. Sitting on top of that stairs, Pasha's doing some laps. He's like, I kind of think they might be showing up here.
Will they find the opening?
Dire scan. They think they're over there. Not quite right. Afu's approaching the high ground slowly, trying to pop his own smoke. Detective work being done. Now the Radiant smoke as well.
Pasha the one in the front lines, though, with this new Eon Disc. He wants to be the one that gets initiated on. He goes in, gets off the clap. They find a silence, but the repel does help things out. The dunk does do quite a bit. Afu dies, but buys back straight away. Now Lina getting low, but the GA comes out to keep her alive. It looks like Ramses is going to be able to do a lot of damage here, though. Ohio isolated, stunned, and brought down. The Lina dead for 120 seconds, and it's going to be the same for the Omni Knight. He does, however, have a buyback. A tough fight for LFY. Well, now the question is, will VP go high ground, or do they go for the Roche?
I think with the Lina buyback, they just want to get a Rax, if not more. I guess they were right on LFY's side. Even if we were ahead, we can't take a fight outside the base. It's not going to go well. And you know, that was almost best case scenario for VP though. They came in smoked, they found them right away, and Pasha with a great initiation.
Yep. And now the defensive attempt. They are going to destroy Solo straight away as the Ice Blast flies in.
Yeah, Mane has a DD actually.
It's a pretty good defense so far. He'll lose the DD, but still, LFY hold on to the barracks, and with the Lina down without buyback, I think they'll take it.
Yeah, just get back, get the safer option. They've all regrouped. No split push now. And oh, they don't have meta either though, so this is kind of awkward. Ramses is gonna try for it though. Might be a bit of the old slow and steady here.
All right,
Afu lurking nearby.
So Roche going to be the main objective. Ice Blast does fly in and repels them for now. Roche still pretty healthy. With the Lina dead, very hard for LFY to contest this.
Oh man, you think these fights are hard for them now? Just wait until Pasha gets 25 as well. He's just like slowly making his way there.
Oh, he's
now
close.
This Eon Disc, he probably won't die too much either.
Yeah, 65 seconds off Primal Split, pretty ridiculous. Roche now very low. Monet nearby. Posturing like he wants to run in, but it's a nice block out from Roger. Stops CK's path, but it gets snatched by Ramses as Dire get the last hit on Roche from Afu. He is probably going to have to pay with his life. The Primal Split comes out to zone out the rest of LFY.
Oh, the kick, he rolls out! Afu's alive!
But Monet could be in some trouble. He's going to be surrounded by VP teammates. Stunned, Death Ward, he'll be brought down. No buyback on the CK. Big plays from Afu. But without the CK, this could be pretty scary, Trent.
Get baited, core teammate.
Now, where did the rest of the Roche fixins end up? Refresher Shard is in the inventory of Roger, and Aegis is in the inventory of Terrorblade.
And the cheese is on no one, so...
Okay, so they
get everything. He didn't manage to snatch any of them.
He just gets the last hit on Roche.
He just killed the CK.
Yeah, a little bit of gold for the team, but, I mean, CK is... got a buyback in 45 seconds. It's still on cooldown. The game might not end here, but some pretty crippling damage going to be coming out from VP. Another double damage rune
He's double Lincoln's as well, so they can't even go for like a Yule's play onto him. Oh, she doesn't have a Yule's.
Ramses is actually a raid boss right now. Ice Blast going to fly in. It may connect on Ramses, but no, he gets pushed forward. BKB popped by Super. They're going to go blow for blow, and Super is not going to win this one. The GA will keep him alive a little bit longer, but now the Sunder from Ramses as they press forward. The GA is about to expire, and LFY are running out of options. They're repelled to the well, and
dunk.
Roger with the double dunk might have just secured this win for Virtus Pro. Top lane of Barracks have fallen. Only one lane remains. All 3 heroes down on LFY do not have buyback. They're not going to tap out quite yet, but VP are just pushing for the win. Exorcism gets used, both tier 4s fall, and now the Dire Ancient is exposed. They pop the glyph. Monet is back. He does kill Solo. He's going to buy back as well. The double Lincoln's on Ramses, keeping him pretty safe as the primal split comes. Afu tries to roll away, and I think VP are still all in here to try to finish this one off. They're putting a lot of pressure on the throne, and Monet can only do so much to pull him off. Afu has already called the GG as we see this final fight break out. It's Virtus Pro that will take the win.
Man, they were just so confident in their strategy here from Virtus Pro. They weren't concerned at all, right? They were just laid back, relaxing. Like, it's okay. We're down like 8K gold. I'm sure this is fine. And they were quite right. Every time that there was any hint of aggression whatsoever from LFY, they just kind of retreated back a little bit. And honestly, the aggression wasn't really there, was it? I mean, that Shadowblade came out like after, when he got the Agnums, he got like 1 kill before Shadowblade, I want to say.
Yeah.
Just like no one was going around ganking or anything.
We knew the Lina pick was maybe going to be a little dicey. It was certainly risky, and Super played very conservative on the Lina, almost to a fault. She's so momentum-based that I think you really want to try to find those kills early on. Really good game from LFY, though, overall. If you look at that goal graph at the end, they had a 10K lead for a while, and to credit VP, they just stayed patient, held it steady. It seemed like controlling Roche was really what allowed VP to come back into that one.
Yeah, and they had a rather terrifying high ground defense, too. I mean, there's no doubt about that, right? You got an Earthshaker, right? Could just be blinking and dunking you. You got the Brewmaster you got to fight through as well.
Yeah,
so
both teams had pretty good high ground defense, honestly.
Yeah.
So a very interesting game, though. It felt like a stalemate for a lot of it, where both teams would commit to fighting and then go back to commit to farming. Going to take a look at the highlights here. This was one of the early fights, I think, that went well for LFY. It was the one where they were able to get that early initiation with the Brewmaster, but the follow-up just wasn't quite there. And LFY reset and then reinitiate as VP get pulled further out of their comfort zone.
I think it's one where they all got wiped.
Okay,
because there was a good silence and then a Fisher from Roger.
You're right. It's that other fight. I'm sorry. That's my bad. This is where VP destroys LFY and gets some of that early momentum back.
Yeah, but I mean, this was, what, 45 minutes in. So your first highlight was at like 12 minutes, and your next highlight's at 44 and a half. And that kind of tells you how our game went.
Yeah, speaks to how much that big game was spent just farming on their respective sides of the map. But the high ground siege, just so hard to deal with. This is that fight where Roger jumped in super early when he had the refresher shard. It looked like kind of a biffed Echo Slam to start it off, but it threw LFY.
I mean, Super is he's just silenced.
Yeah.
He's stunned by a Brewmaster. Then he gets silenced again. He's just walking around the edge of the fight. He's like, I'll come back, guys. I know I'm the guy.
He was basically out of that fight. Look at him. He's going to wrap around the other way. He's like, guys, I'm here. Oh, shit.
I'm
Actually,
silenced.
I'm not.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I'm your mid-hero, by the way.
That was a really brutal team fight. And it just seemed like LFY weren't quite ready for Roger to make that really, really aggressive initiation. He bought back instantly, got back into the fight, and then was able to drop that second fissure before dying, or sorry, that second Echo Slam before dying.
Yeah, it looked bad, right? Because he just like dunked in and he hit like 3 heroes, kinda. There was almost no damage, but
they needed it.
He used the BKB instantly on the CK. It was just gone, and that was before anything else was even spent on the side of Virtus Pro. So that's a worthy trade. Right? You just throw one of your supports away for a BKB on a CK. Yeah, all right, we can handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. Roshan though was really the big deal of this game. The back-to-back refresher shards, such a game changer. It was a nice play from Afu to jump in like that and finish off Roche, but in the end, having the CK die here is kind of what cost them the game.
He just ran north. Yeah. Nobody was there. His team's like over to the eastern part. He's like, I will take them, guys.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those moments where you kind of wonder what the communication with the team was, if that was just Monet making a miscall, if there was some sort of greater strategy there that kind of backfired. But with the CK down, he didn't have buyback. It was so close, coming up in just about 25 seconds, but this was that time, brutal.
Yeah, this was when Super bought a BKB right near the end of the game, trying to save it, replaced his bots too with it, but wasn't enough at that point. Obviously, Ramses is just way ahead. Dealing way too much damage.
Yeah, Terrorblade, baby. We haven't seen much Terrorblade this tournament. We mentioned that in the draft, but a good showing here. Obviously was not nerfed too much in this last patch, and you know, I didn't even really notice the reflection change. He felt like the same old TB that we've come to respect, huh?
Yeah, he's just, I think we've talked a lot about, like, cores that are good throughout the entire game. Seem to be quite strong right now. Gyrocopter, that's always been kind of a standard part of that hero. Juggernaut, I think, kind of fits that same idea, too. We've seen quite a bit of that hero as well. And then the Terrorblade is obviously the one who's the most popular these days. I would say that kind of fits that niche. But here's the scoreboard for you guys.
And, you know, Ramses did not die a single time that game. Not a stat that we mentioned, but he was 4-0-12 on that Terrorblade.
Damn. Yeah, his lane was great. He pumped out 32.2k damage. What more can you ask for?
I mean, I think his item build was on point, but a particularly impressive stat when you're up against an Ancient Apparition and a Lina with an Aghanim Scepter, right?
Yeah,
those are two heroes that
you.
are designed to counter you, that are gunning for you in the team fights, and the only times they were able to kill him were when he had the Aegis, and it was sort of intentional. You know, that was part of the game plan.
How about that hero damage from Roger? He almost did twice the damage of his offlaner.
Wow.
Yeah, like 15.7k. A lot of that maybe coming from that double dunk right at the end with the refresher. He just styled on top of them, but
it adds up. But still, again, we talked about looking at that draft. Roger is one of those key playmakers. If he has a good early game and sets up kills for his team, they'll probably flourish. If he doesn't make those fissures count, they won't. And I would almost call Roger MVP that game if it were up to me.
Yeah, I could go for that. I'm down. I'll offer that. No, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to give it to Ramses. I'm not going to be a support apologist. Support is great, but Ramses, I mean, come on. He didn't die. He's a Terrorblade. He owned his lane.
But what stopped him from dying? The incredible support cast.
I don't think so. I think he just played well.
Yeah, no, those fissures didn't make any difference. Not at all.
Please.
All right. Well,
did you see that, Lena?
Well, we'll give it to Ramses. Of course, an amazing showing from him, knowing his limits on the Terrorblade, knowing exactly when to fight, when to farm.
Look at those finger guns. How are you going to say no to that kid?
I mean, I'm with you, man. He played a great game. It was a flawless victory, as they say.
Those are like the laziest finger guns I've ever seen. They're like pointing down. He is really not into it. Someone said, just do this. And he's like,
okay.
Like this?
Did it look cool? All right.
Perfect. Put me in the Shadow Fiend Aura and let's get this thing done.
Terrorblade. What a nasty hero. Even when you have the counters, still hard to deal with. Well, Trent, that brings that game to a close. Up next, we've got the CIS Showdown. It's going to be Na'Vi versus Vega. We're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to get settled in. Only 2 more matches coming up tonight, but still more Dota coming your way. Stick around because the Bucharest Major continues after this.
Ready. Steady. Game on.